Hey, this is William Mahoney for Principles Matter, and I'm here with the Director of Life Defenders, Emily Brown. How are you doing, Emily?
I'm doing great, thanks. You?
Very well, thanks. Emily, you recently attended the March for Life and followed the Women's March on Washington pretty closely. Did you notice any differences between the two marches?
Yeah, just a few. I mean, if an alien from another planet were to observe the two marches without any prior knowledge, I'm pretty sure that alien would come to two very different conclusions about the meaning and purpose of the Women's March on Washington and the meaning and purpose of the March for Life.
Interesting. Can you point out some of those differences for our listeners?
Definitely. Let me start by mentioning the names for the marches themselves. The March for Life has been around since January 22nd, 1974. Its name is clear. People gather in the Capitol on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade to, March for Life. The other march is without historical precedence on our nation. This year was its first year. Its name, notice how this is not called the March for Women, but rather the Women's March on Washington. First, this march hardly represents women at all. And second, the language is already aggressive and hostile. It is a march on Washington. Finally, from the name, the cause is not entirely clear, as it is with the March for Life.
Good observations. It sounds like one, the March for Life, is more of an organized march for a clear cause, while the other, the Women's March on Washington, is more of a disorganized protest against President Trump and any kind of common sense.
Yeah, it's more like a disorganized temper tantrum against Trump, and the majority of the country favoring a return to common sense.
What are some other differences you noted?
Well, another huge difference is the use of language. This can be seen mostly on the signs of the two marches. At the March for Life, there are many signs saying things like pro-woman, pro-child, pro-life. Where there is love, there is life. And I'm a pro-life feminist. The Women's March had many signs saying things too vulgar to repeat.
Don't say that! Don't say it. Don't say that! That is so offensive. Please don't say it.
Alright, so to summarize to this point, we have a clear message using appropriate language and an unclear message using hostile and crass language. Anything else?
Yes, the attire. Nobody at the March for Life was sporting anything vulgar or inappropriate. In fact, there were even many religious dressed in their full habits. Many at the Women's March, on the other hand, were sporting really vulgar costumes, mostly dressing themselves up as female genitalia.
Wow, that's just coarse and immature. Anything else?
There are other differences, but I think the last one worth pointing out right now is the state in which the two marches left the premises. After the March for Life, everything was left how it was before the march. At the Women's March, however, everything was messy. There were signs thrown in the street for other people to clean up. I think this shows a significant difference between the two fundamentally opposed attitudes. The one regards others, while the other disregards them. It is the difference between caring for others or expecting others to care for you. One is the attitude of a true grown-up, while the other is the attitude of a child who has yet to grow up.
It sounds like one is primarily about a love of others, while the other is primarily about a love of self. One is clear, calm, and peaceful, while the other is unclear, vulgar, and clamorous. Alright, now I have a challenge for you. How would you describe the difference between these two marches in one sentence?
In a nutshell, the difference is between what destroys a nation and what makes a nation great.